I am Saber, your servant. I have come in response to your summons. And you. You are my master, correct?
What? Your master?
Yes, you summoned me, and as a Saber I heeded your call. Your orders, master. My sword will be at your side from here on forward. From now on, whatever fate awaits you, awaits me. The accord with us has now been struck.
What? Hey! Wait! Invisible.
What are you, a coward? Why don't you stop hiding behind that weapon and reveal it?
Come now, Lancer. Quit now and you'll disgrace your own kind. If you won't come to me, then I'll come to you.
Let me ask you a question first. Your noble phantasm. It's a sword, right?
Maybe. Maybe not. It could be an axe. Or not. Maybe I have something completely different, like a bow.
Get real, Saber. This is just our first encounter. Let's give it a rest and call it a draw.
Sorry. I always finish what I start.
My only objective tonight was to gather information. I had no intention of tangling with a servant. However, if you're going to insist on this... All right, Saber. Your heart's mine! Hey, Boosh!
Was that a hex? No, perhaps a cause-effect reversal.
So, you dodged my gay Bulge's fatal blow.
What did you say? Then could it be that you were Ireland's famous Son of Light? The tip of that spear, the gay Bulge is enchanted to breach any defense. That spear targets its enemy's heart, and then moves on its own to avoid anything that impedes that target. And that spear is only handled by the Hound of Kulan.
I hate that. Every time I use that attack, I run the risk of exposing myself. I guess there is such a thing as being too famous. I know according to the rules I'm supposed to fight to the death if my true identity is revealed. But unfortunately, my employer's a bit of a coward. I was given explicit orders to head back if my attacks failed.
You're leaving?
You're more than welcome to follow me, but if you come, you best come prepared to die!
Come back here!
He's gone. Just who the heck are you?
Must you even ask that? I am a saber, your servant. As I recall, you were the one who summoned me, so you should know all too well why I'm here.
You're a saber servant?
Yes, so perhaps it's easier if you just call me Saber.
Okay. That's kind of an odd name. My name is Shiro Emiya. So then I guess my next question is...
Now I understand. You aren't exactly a typical master, are you?
Master?
I'm right, but be that as it may, you are still my master. Now that our pact has been concluded, I will never once do anything to betray you.
Hey, hold on a sec! Stop calling me master, will you? It's freaking me out!
Then I will call you Shiro. Yes, I think I like the sound of that name much better anyway. Shiro, heal this wound for me.
Huh? Do you really think I can do that? Sorry, but that's way beyond the level of magic I can do. Besides, it looks like it's already healed up on its own.
Fine, I still have plenty of strength. My own regeneration only took care of the exposed part. Nevertheless, it shouldn't hinder me in one more battle.
Hang on!
Archer, vanish!
Stop it, Saber!
This is Archer's master. We'd be foolish not to kill her now.
You keep going on about this master stuff, but I don't know what you're talking about! I still don't know who you are or why you're here, but if you stop trying to randomly kill people long enough to tell me, I'll listen!
Randomly kill people? You're not making any sense. You never turn down the opportunity to slay your enemy. I will not obey such commands.
Girls shouldn't go around swinging invisible swords at people, especially if they're wounded!
So then, are you going to lower your sword now?
If an enemy's before me, my sword will stay raised.
So you're telling me a servant, a saber at that, is willing to disobey her master?
Aren't you... Tosaka?
Good evening, Emiya. Better. I expect that you're at least capable of that, Emiya.
Awesome. Are you kidding? I can't do anything like that.
What? You can't be serious. That's like the first thing they teach you.
Well, I'm sorry, but I only know the few things that my dad taught me, and I'm afraid even that stuff is nothing formal.
Huh? So you're saying you can't create a path, or control the 5 elements, or anything?
Nope.
So, you're a complete novice then?
Well, no. I can do reinforcement spells.
Of all the magic you chose to learn, you chose that? And you're sure there's nothing else you can do?
No, that's it.
How could someone like you manage to summon a saber then? So I'm guessing you've no clue as to the situation you're in.
Situation?
You've been dragged into a certain tournament of sorts. It's the Holy Grail Wars, a battle royale between 7 masters.
What are you talking about? There's a war?
You recently had a stigma appear on your hand, right? Those 3 command seals are your mark as a master. So you see, Emiya, you are then definitely a master. Every few decades, 7 masters are chosen. Each master is granted a servant. Once that happens, a battle to obtain the Holy Grail begins to unfold. I was chosen to be a master as well. As long as you have your command seals, your servant will continue to obey you. The command seals give you absolute authority over them. Those seals are what makes them obey your will. They can even force them to do something they don't want to. However, each time you force them against their will, you will lose a command, so you must always keep your last command.
Hold on, I still don't get any of this!
It looks as though you still haven't fully materialized. I assume it's because of your master. His incompetence must have interfered with your summoning.
Correct. Shiro doesn't possess nearly enough magical power to complete the process. So I can't become a spirit here, and regenerating my force will take time.
Good grief! If I were your master, I could take care of both those problems in a matter of seconds!
So then, are you saying I'm not fit to be a master?
You're not even close, genius. Very well then. We should get going.
Go where?
We're going to pay a visit to the man who oversees this whole war. Oh, come on. Don't you have anything better for her to wear?
Huh? Hey, don't look at me. I asked her to take that armor off, but she wouldn't do it. So this supervisor guy lives here?
Yes. This is Kotomine Church.
Shiro, I think it's best if I wait out here. I accompanied you to this place so I could protect you. If this church is where you'll be tonight, then I'm sure I'll be able to find you within its proximity.
Tosaka, just how much do you know about this priest anyway?
Well, I can tell you he's a Magus. And he also happens to be my legal guardian. You see, he's kind of served as my second teacher.
He's a Magus? You mean this priest also belongs to a pagan council of mages?
Yes, and that's why he can be such a pain in the ass. His name is Kirei Kotomine. He was one of my father's pupils. We've been basically forced to put up with each other for 10 years now. We would have had nothing to do with each other if I'd had my way.
And I would have preferred not to have a student who can't show her teacher respect.
I've brought the 7th Master to meet with you and talk with you. He's technically a Magus, but he's so unbelievably inept that it pained me to ignore it.
Tell me, my son, what would your name be?
Shiro Emiya.
Well, Emiya. And you're certain that you're Saber's master?
Far from it. Listen, all this stuff about masters and Grail Wars, I don't understand any of it.
Yes, that is a problem. Very well. Seeing how this is the first time Rin ever asked for my help, I believe the least I can do for you, Shiro, is to oblige. Listen to me. Being a master is not something you can hand from one person to the next. And once you've become a master, you can't just walk away from it either. Those command seals on your hand are a stigmata. The role of master is a trial that has been awarded to you. You can't turn away simply because it's inconvenient. If you truly want to give up your status as master, your only option is to obtain the Grail and make your wish.
And what wish is that?
It can be any wish that you desire. If you win the Grail, you'll have the rare chance to have the contents of your soul wiped clean. In fact, if you wanted, you could even go back in time and start your life all over. So if you get the opportunity to make your wish, and it comes true, you'll be thanking your lucky stars you were chosen to be a master. If you want to rid yourself of those invisible burns, your only choice is to accept your stigmata.
Kirei, would you please get to the point? I only brought him here so that you could explain the rules to him, okay?
Guess I'll cut to the chase then. Here are the underlying principles behind the Grail Wars. It's a series of battles to be fought by 7 masters in conjunction with their servants. Participants in this war are not chosen simply because they wish to be. They are chosen as part of a ritual to determine who is the most worthy to possess the Holy Grail.
You're kidding! You're talking about the actual Holy Grail?
Trust me, when the Holy Grail materializes in this city, it will be the genuine article. The miracles performed by the servants should be proof enough that this is real. Servants are beings who approach the level of high spirits. They are either legends or historical figures who have been summoned forth by the Holy Grail and materialized here in physical form. In theory, they are to remain in spirit form and stay close to their master's side. They are to materialize and fight only when the need arises.
Yes, but Emiya's servant is a bit different. Because her master is an amateur, she can't take spirit form.
The Grail's ability to resurrect the dead could easily be considered magic. If the Holy Grail is capable of this power, it's safe to assume it can bestow equal or greater power to its beholder. In light of this, questions challenging its authenticity should be moot.
Alright, I'll assume for now that the Holy Grail exists. But why do you have to kill people over it? If it really has all this power, why don't you guys just share it then?
A logical question to ask, but unfortunately, we don't have that choice. The 7 masters are the ones the Grail feels are the most worthy to possess it, and it uses these wars to determine who is the most capable of all. Everything is carried out by the Grail itself. The selection of the masters, the summoning of the servants, all of it. This war is a tradition. It's a time-honored ritual where people chosen by the Grail die in an effort to attain it.
But just because one person can win doesn't mean you gotta kill all the masters in the process.
Wait a sec. There's no rule that says in order to attain the Grail, you have to first eliminate all other masters.
Huh?
The Holy Grail is a spiritual object. A human can't even touch it. Only servants who are also spirits can have contact with it. So, servants are the key. Therefore, the objective is to eliminate all servants but your own.
So I just gotta focus on the servants, right? Okay, it's starting to make sense. If my servant is the only one left at the end of the war, then no one can stop her from attaining the Grail.
Exactly. So if you take out a servant, then there's no need to kill their master as well.
Well then, how come you guys just didn't tell me that in the first place? So just because you decide to fight in the Grail Wars, it doesn't actually mean that you're gonna end up dead.
Let me ask you something. Do you think you have the ability to defeat your own servant? Servants are quite powerful. It's hard for other servants to defeat them, much less an ordinary master. But servants can't exist without a master, which means...
The easiest way to take out a servant is to take out their master.
Yes, but a servant doesn't immediately disappear after they've lost their master. Another master can step in and use their command seals to form a new pact with them. A master who's lost their servant and a servant who's lost their master can create a new accord and rejoin the battle.
Well, what happens if you use up your command seals? Wouldn't that set your servant free? And then they could go and make a pact with a different master.
That's entirely plausible. If you use up your command seals, then you are relieved from your duties as master. Of course, if a Magus were actually to do this, he'd be forever branded an incompetent, or worse, an incredible fool. But if that should happen to you, I'll personally guarantee your safety. That's my responsibility as supervisor of these wars, and I shall do my best to uphold my position. This is the 5th time that our fair city has played host to the Grail Wars. The last one was 10 years ago.
Are you people insane? You're telling me you guys have done this before?
In the past, the Holy Grail Wars grew to become incredibly brutal. Masters were driven only by their desires, and they began to butcher one another indiscriminately. Because of that, the Council of Mages selected a supervisor at the very beginning of the Third War, and that man happened to be my father. And so consequently, I have inherited the same post.
Wow. It sounds like the Grail Wars have a way of bringing out the ugly side of people.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, the earlier masters were willing to break the rules of the Magi to get what they wanted, right? So imagine if someone like that won the Grail. Just think of what could happen if they got their wish. It would be nothing short of a huge disaster. Some maniac with that kind of power?
It matters not what kind of person attains the Grail. The Council of Mages will not interfere. Our only role is to make sure the rules of war continue to be followed. If you take issue with that, then become the victor. After all, relying on others can sometimes be incredibly inefficient.
Don't tell me what to do! I'm not interested in fighting this stupid war of yours! It's got absolutely nothing to do with me!
So you're telling me you don't care, even if someone unfit to possess the Grail should win, knowing they could cause great harm to others? And you're saying none of these facts have piqued your interest about what happened 10 years ago. As the last Grail War was coming to an end, the Grail was touched by someone who was unworthy. We have no idea what this master was hoping to achieve, but we are all familiar with the atrocity that emerged as a result of his actions. Yes, they say the cause of that fire is still unknown, but it's actually the scar left by the Fourth Holy Grail War.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. So, what was the outcome of the last war?
There wasn't one. Like I said, the Grail was touched by someone unworthy, and the war ended. But before him, there was another man who touched it. But you see, that man had done his best to avoid fighting, and so the Grail would not completely materialize. When all 7 servants have gathered, the Grail will appear and then begin to materialize. But remember what I have just told you. This man chose not to fight, so the Grail refused to acknowledge him as its rightful owner.
I'm afraid he's right. Therefore, any strategy that tries to avoid confrontations with masters is essentially pointless. This guy he's referring to who tried to avoid fighting last time was basically a coward.
Wait a sec. This master you're talking about was you, right?
About halfway through the battle, I quit. Unfortunately, I had lost my servant, so I came to my father and asked for protection. That's all I wish to say on that subject. Without a servant, a master is no longer qualified to win the Grail. When the tournament reduces all 7 of you down to just 1, the Grail will then reveal itself to the victor. I'll ask you again. This is your last chance, Shiro Emiya. Time to decide. Will you or will you not be a master in the Holy Grail Wars?
I'll do it. If all this is true, if the Grail Wars did cause that fire 10 years ago, then there's no way that I can just stand by and let that happen again.
Well, that's settled. Okay, let's go then.
Rejoice, my son. You have a chance to make your dreams come true. You need a distinguishable enemy to see your dream come to fruition. You may not want to admit it, my son, but in order for virtue to prevail, I'm afraid there must first be an evil that needs to be defeated. For you, your most noble aspirations and your most despicable desires all flow from the same source. So please, stop pretending you don't know this. It's a conflict that's been going on within human beings for centuries.
I've helped you as much as I can.
You're a good person, Tosaka.
Oh, please, don't flatter me. I don't respond to it.
Shiro!
Hello again, mister. This makes it the second time that we've met.
Fate, stay night. Next time, the strongest enemy.